Man, if you are walking out of the Lawson Center, I'm hearing it was a raucous environment, and also hearing that we came away slight loss. So their disappointment in that, absolutely. Is there a chance for a rebound? Definitely, because the ladies fought hard, and I ain't gonna lie, big pressure. Get ready for that call. Only reason I ain't called today is because I know you had the game today, but we definitely gonna make that call. But for those that have started making their way elsewhere, get ready, y'all. It's about to be a fun season. About to be some good times, and you already know what's up. It's always gonna be Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
What's up, family? Home cooked. Y'all notice my brother definitely took some days off. Like I definitely was planning to do something Thursday. What's up, little baby? But I heard what we were doing on Thursday night. Then Sunday, I came back Sunday. So we didn't get back till about 8 o'clock last night. So that's why we're doing a show tonight. So that way keep the good folks at HBCU Digital happy. But also doing what we gotta do. Still at work. The ladies did lose. So if you did miss, just got that from some of my good people at the game. The ladies lost. But the videos, I ain't gonna lie, I was trying to download one of the videos of the crowd shot, and I couldn't get it to do what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to do like crazy recording stuff. So it was pretty good attendance. Like about 2/3, a little more than 2/3 full. So, for FAMU basketball, anything above 500 people is good. Like, I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, anything above 500 is great. So, and as y'all can see, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. It's good times to be had, man. So if you are at the FAMU basketball game, shout out. Definitely look, y'all got a brother about to get this Rattlers Plus game going. So I canceled it, but I'm about to renew it, So if you haven't got Rattlers Plus, consider it, man. But this whole weekend, everything was home cooked. It was perfect. It was amazing. I don't know what to say about it. It's FAMU homecoming. Like, I really don't know what else needs to be said about FAMU homecoming. we found out about the bald head rattler. One of those IYKYK situations. Also, go check out St. Clair Friday. I'll definitely do another promotion for that. And the Rattler Boosters, man, if y'all didn't see, look, the fruits of their labors are evident on the field. They are definitely one of the groups that routinely purchases muscle milk for the football team. I don't know why that took like so long to say and why I struggled to say muscle milk, but I did. So it was what it was. But if you would like to support the team behind the team, go do that. And the FAMU ladies, the final score was 62-56. So tough loss. Slide this over for those of y'all to see. I know it's not a good podcast to me turning over and looking, but it is what it is. So that way you can see, again, I'm an evidentiary guy. So there's my science. So shout out to Mr. Clint Bird. He said make sure to give him a shout out on the blog. So y'all can tell Clint when you see him. I gave him the shout out, man. Saw Brother Bird at church on Sunday. So I did go to my home church, Springer Road Church of Christ. Brother AJ Walker is the minister there. So good times there. And good conversation, man. So, if you missed it, you missed it. But go check that out, man. So trying to get this thing posted so y'all can see this on X as well. So we are on X. We're also on YouTube and Facebook. So go check us out any one of those places. Two of which are HBCU Digital Network. One obviously is the Fangs Up Home. So we'll get the other places right in a little bit. All right, so look, today I got to catch the Cozy interview. So I didn't catch the one at 5:20 today. I didn't know it was at 5:20. I thought it was a little later, but I understand why I got moved. But I was in presence for the coach's call this morning. So I ain't gonna lie, brother took Monday off. Because homecoming is always a long event, always unprecedented things that come up. So in that vein, in that idea, I take it a moment of personal privilege to either take off that Friday or that Monday. I chose Monday. So Friday we had to give the test to the kiddos. So, but it was fun, man. It was fun. And look, a little pregame, quiet before the storm. Bragg looks different during the day. Like, I don't know why. Something about Bragg Stadium. Just right, that midday kind of tide vibe. Just a little different. I definitely prefer night games in Bragg, but the atmosphere is nice. You can see the 100, see the cheerleaders, see right there. Look, so you see the 100. No photos, no Photoshop needed to add fans. Like, Bragg was full, and I got both sides of the stadium right here, man. Y'all can see like the Venom aunties. Hey aunties, I purposely stayed away from going over there because man, look, y'all made sure y'all put the aunties right by Texas Southern. So and then the view from the home stands, orange and green everywhere. The stadium was packed. It was full. It's a beautiful situation. Didn't see Thick 36 out there this year. But what's up, Gail? At the ladies' game. Y'all working hard. Keep working. We need it. Look, it was so much fun. Even Texas Southern's mascot was out there dancing. I don't know if that was a squirrel. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was fighting hard when they played the squirrel. Not to kind of hit it. That's my brother-in-law's favorite song. But I held off. But the DJ was jamming, man. And you can see, look, Nayron Jenkins is over there celebrating a sack. Like, it was definitely great experience. And you had your fan of the game, former member of the March 100, tuba player right there. So I see him. But like, that's Miss Williams next to him. Hey, Miss Williams. And then, of course, the final score, 52-28. So it was a good game, great environment. It's FAMU homecoming, though. So part of it's about the game, part of it's not. So, kind of looking back at the game, one of the big things that kind of, bugged me a little bit, some of the penalties. Like, we had a couple penalties that kind of had you asking why. Didn't really talk about those in either the coaches, post games, pre games, whatever. But you definitely had that where it was like, what were some of these penalties? None of them were crazy though. Like, yeah, none of them were crazy. So no fighting, nobody trying to throw hands. But the other thing that definitely came up was the turnovers, and Daniel Richardson brought that up. Just kind of looking at my highlights from the post game, just kind of walking into the Lawson Center post game. And then we finally found a rush game. So those are kind of my big takeaways. But then when I looked at it, I was kind of looking back and like, all right, I try to break this down: offense, defense, special teams. Offensively, Dan Richardson said himself, we should have 60 points. Like, that is what we should have seen all season. Like that, a game like the Texas Southern game frustrates you about the Jackson State game because is Jackson State a better team? Yes, definitely. No arguments. But when you're looking at, you had a 21-20 lead and you couldn't have got some of those guys involved, like, that's where the struggle comes in. And the Bucks are on too. So y'all know I love y'all because I'm crazy about the Bucks. I'm good for getting a good Tampa Bay chant going in my house. Both my kids know. When I say Tampa, you need to say Bay. Um, and look, celebration penalties, they hurt us, but I let that slide because it was homecoming. They were excited, and I was excited because we broke 21 points on offense. Broke 21 ain't the word, my brother. We doubled it and some. I mean, we could have got 63. It's like it was just one of those games where, and I was hopefully going to sweat me to call, but I didn't see the link in our whatever. I kind of wanted to ask Texas Southern's quarterback a little bit, coach, sorry, and then also ask Prairie's quarterbacks and stuff, coach. But kind of going into it, it was one of those games where I felt like FAMU had the potential to score some points, but would the play caller support it? Because all of us feel like the offense has been somewhat hamstrung. The defense has been a little boring. And I feel like even Cozy felt that way. Like we're hearing where, one of the tight ends was a scratch. And that's not me breaking news. I know I don't break news. I share it. That's news that Cozy said during the coach's call this morning that, Carter Johnson didn't play because he was a late scratch. So all of a sudden, it's back to Pruitt and Gross. And the first 3 touchdowns are Pruitt and Gross. And did y'all see how Pruitt mossed that man? Like, that's the kind of stuff that irks you because, as I say that, Travis Kelce mosses somebody. That's the kind of stuff you're like, this couldn't quote unquote happen all season, but it's been there. Like, there's been times where the offense could do these kind of things. And you saw after that first drive, and I thought about it asking, but I got lost in the moment. How much of that first drive was scripted? Because you could really see where the offense was clicking. The play calling, to me, was a little better, largely because it seemed like the ball was getting out of Richardson's hand faster. Like, one of the problems I think I've had and a lot of others have had is the fact that FAMU has a lot of slow developing plays. Like, you're really asking Ace Cobb, Gassett, sometimes Kobe Gross, even Pruitt, if you send him and if you put him in the game. Also, Kev, on these deep routes that are taking a while to develop, you're asking the offensive line to protect, which neither offensive line in Tallahassee has been great, but I'd argue the offensive line in Tallahassee is the best. It might be FAMU statistically. I mean, FSU's O-line's trash. FSU's trash. And I say as a fan, I'm not a hater. But so you kind of looking at this game and you're starting to realize this FAMU team has left points on the board all season. Like, some of the people who were saying FAMU was an explosive offense, this is when we're finally getting to see it. Now, it may be a day late, and $1 short, because unless, what we're hearing, and, y'all know I give credit where credit is due, what Scotty Offscript was talking about earlier today with Jackson State. Unless that's true, the chances of you getting back into this SWAC championship game are slim. There ain't none yet, but they're slim. So at this point, you're really dependent on having some of those things work in your favor. And right now, the question is, did you find the offense too late? Because I'll be honest, after watching what I've seen from our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator in the Texas Southern game and potentially in some of the other games, I think they're back next year. Like, because Scotty spoke to something I said about HBCUs in general. Our coaching is way too ancestral. Like, you just keep recycling the same coach over and over. He gets fired from this place. He goes to that place. He gets fired from this place. He goes back to that place. That wasn't a catch. Like, where is the new thinking going to come from? Like, when are you going to get somebody that's going to be from outside of that thinking box that can present some new thinking and some new thoughts? Like, I ain't seen it. So, because part of what makes Chennis Berry so revolutionary is I mean, the play calling ain't like brand new, but it ain't the same old either. Like he's a little different. Like, okay, you can adjust to it, but same point. Like even with FAMU, part of the problem with the offense, it was boring. Like you kept running plays that were similar to what was there from last year, but you kept trying to hit home runs. And I'm sorry, not too many teams win the World Series because they got 1,000 home runs. Most teams win the World Series because they can do everything well. They can field, they can hit, and they get those bombs when they need them. I feel like at times, sometimes we try to force those bombs too often. Whereas you saw, especially at the beginning of this game, what was the stuff we talked about? What did we say? You said it in the chat. I said it. Hey man, those running backs were opening. Just if you throw it to them coming out of the backfield, that's an extension of the run game. That's there. Hey, the tight ends, they're there. Like, and then we're looking at this Texas Southern team, and those things are there. And I think you're going to see a lot of the same against Prairie View. One of the things Colsey mentioned is, your limited roster. Instead of having 82, you have 70 players. And he mentioned that this isn't a trap game. So, we'll talk more about that Thursday. I know, quick turnaround. But kind of looking back at this game and looking at the offense, the big thing wasn't just the scoring. It was the fact that you look competent. Like, and you look competent pretty much all 4 quarters. Like, there wasn't this first half of, all right, we'll get in the second half. There wasn't that. Like, you were there. Like, first round, like, mama said, knock you out. Like, you throwing jabs. Like, oh, okay. You like, there was none of this rope-a-dope crap we've been getting from this football team. Like, early on, you doing stuff to excite the fans. The band is jumping. Like you doing it. And all of a sudden, you kind of have a lull after, but you kind of get back in the groove of getting rid of the ball quick. And I think in that, even with Daniel Richardson, you found your offense with Daniel Richardson. It's not for him to sit back there and, as Willie Simmons would say, pat the baby and just throw the ball deep. That's not it. Because a lot of times that's when the interceptions happen. Like, I think if you go back and you watch the film, most of Daniel Richardson's interceptions are when he's kind of going to that other check. Like, when he's able to kind of get in that flow, get rid of the ball, dink and dunk, it's death by 1,000 cuts. But when you got him kind of, I don't want to say read the defense, analyze it. He can read defense. But sometimes, especially that first interception when he threw over the middle, he kind of had to come back to that guy. And he's definitely going to say, and Colsey even stated, Richardson wants that pass back. I'm with him. I want it back too. Because I saw him throw it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and of course, hindsight's perfect. So, of course, whatever I say is going to be perfect because it's after the fact. I'm not in the fire like him. So, of course, my decisions are going to be perfect decisions. Like, and that's kind of me poking fun at myself. Like, that's me discrediting me a little bit and saying Daniel wasn't wrong in the moment because I'm always going to be right. But I'm always going to be right because I'm not in the moment. So I have that place of privilege to be able to say that, yeah, it was a bad pass, but he acknowledged it too. So, but kind of looking at that offense, I think you kind of let him get in a little better groove. Like, let him continue to throw the ball to those running backs in the backfield and those receivers you got, because you did all that damage. Ace Cobb didn't play. Wrapped up on the sideline. Like, Goldie Lawrence shined. And I've been telling y'all, like, who my favorite receiver is. My favorite receiver, Ace Cobb. But who is Mr. Reliable? My favorite statistical receiver? It's Quan Lee. I'm telling y'all, Quan Lee, I've been saying it all season. Hey, you need a clutch catch? Fine Quan Lee. And when he ran that route in the end zone, oh man, you want to talk about somebody that was trying not to holler? Like, I was trying not to be a fan because I was like, but everything in me was like, I told y'all he was good. I told y'all that boy good. I've been telling y'all he good. But you know what? Some of y'all don't want to believe me. It's cool. It's all right. Keith just goes to the games. Grew up at Bragg. Played a little football. Okay. I get a little bit. I don't get everything. But it was cool, man. Shout out also Rashawn McKay. A man ago. Look, got to see some of the boys. And that's I'm purposeful about how I talk about people because you're gonna see them people. And you're around here acting like, I'll say whatever I want. It's out of respect, man. They understand what it is. If I was out here talking crazy, hey, but in fact, everything's in respect. I told y'all, Rashawn McKay. Yeah. Y'all sleeping on him. Like, what was it? The previous time FAMU had a quarterback throw for 5 touchdowns. Rashawn McKay. I'm telling y'all, man. Yeah. Anywho's, but look, the running game, they look solid. I really just think throwing to the running backs out of the backfield opens it up a little bit. I think it opens up that run game just a little bit, especially when you're keeping the tight ends in there. I feel like Pruitt in there blocking and Gross in there blocking are better options right now. I could be wrong. That could just be my bias. And y'all know I'll own when I have a bias. I'm not one of those people to be like, oh, I'm unbiased. This is my unbiased opinion. No. My biased opinion, Junior's my favorite quarterback. Who should be starting? Daniel Richardson. Like, I own when I have a bias. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I don't have a bias. Like, I have a bias. I just don't use this to grind my axe. It's like, now you catch me on the field, man, who should be starting? Oh, Daniel Richardson. But Junior's a boy. That don't matter. Just because he's my boy don't mean he's the best. Like, I have my favorites. Like, some of y'all like stuff that ain't the best. Like, some of y'all like Rand Stresson. I can't stand that stuff. It's just key. Like, saying this is one of those cases where Richardson, this guy's solid. Like, you just got to do a better job of structuring the offense so he can take advantage of what's out there, especially going into this PV game when you got some nuggets. You got some nuggets from James Colsey in this last game. So just going to give you that. Go watch that press conference, that we did this morning. Colsey going to give you some nuggets. And, you definitely hear a familiar voice over there a lot. I wasn't anticipating asking that many questions. And Colsey stole one of mine from me, man, because the offensive line looked good. So no real complaints about that. And honestly, some of that Texas Southern, when they walked off the bus, they look different. They look a little more lanky. There we go. Than they do muscular. And I remember saying that to Officer David Miller, former FAMU punter. I'm like, size-wise, they don't look like us. And that's, shout out to the strength and conditioning coach. Shout out to the boosters. Your contributions of muscle milk are much appreciated. But you can see there was a size difference. And you can definitely, see some of them looking over like, all right, what they doing in FAMU that we're not doing? Like, that was there. That was definitely there. Defensively, man, I asked the question. And if you go back and watch the one on Saturday, straight up, Nayron. I've been telling y'all about Nayron. Nayron Jenkins is coming to his own. Like the last 2-3 games, 4 games maybe, Nayron Jenkins is different. Like the tackling is there. He got a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I'm just saying, Nayron's about to put himself on some all SWAC teams if he continues this. Not saying that he's going to the NFL. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is he's playing himself into a spot where he's flashing. Like he's shining. And when you're watching him on the field, you're starting to see that the defense looks better. And that was one of the questions I asked you know, well, we asked Cozy, and Cozy kind of shared it with us. He's like, I felt like the defense was a little vanilla. And I was like, I said that for the whole season. Like going into the season. My first thing was I don't want to see the same old defense from last year because last year's defense was vanilla. It was like Smitty Rock ran a very base defense because he had an amazing defensive line. And it wasn't because that's not saying he couldn't coach. I never said that. I'm saying he knew what his talent level was. He knew the talent level he was going against. So he knew with his front four, he could create so much havoc that he didn't have to blitz corners. He didn't have to blitz linebackers. He could just, for the most part, get the penetration he wanted with his front four. This year, you don't have that. You lost that due to the transfer portal and people who honestly aren't playing at the schools they transfer to. Like, not a one is logging any substantial minutes. That's a conversation for another time. But when you start to look at it, all of a sudden, Cozy said, man, the defense looked really, really, really vanilla. I know Cozy said it really a lot. And it was like, yep. And he's like, felt like we need to change some things up, put some more pressure on them. And I was like, yep. Because all of a sudden, first half, Kendall Bowler comes on a blitz. I loved it. That I was another moment. I'm in the end zone on the field, and I'm like, yes, sir. Then on the other side, I start seeing the defensive line, defensive ends start making plays, and you start to see where. Remember week one when it was like gap integrity, gap integrity, gap integrity, and what I said was they're playing as individuals, they're not playing as a team. And then what does Cozy say today? Well, at the beginning of the season, they're playing as individuals. And I was like, yep. He's like, and now they're coming together. It's like, yep. It's like, I'm just a fan. That's all I am. But at the same point, I see what you see. And sometimes what you put in the chat, I bring back to the coach's calls. He got to go see the 220 club and all the uncles. And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna ask him questions too. So Coach done heard it 3-4 times from us, and we's done seen it. Now he go home and he's done seen it. Now they're in agreements that all right, something needs to change. Like the Bucks better find a way to stop my homeboy. Otherwise, they ain't gonna win. But honestly, like that's part of why we do this. Like we do this kind of stuff so we can hear from y'all. Some of it's cathartic, but also some of it is because look, y'all get y'all conversations in, and we put that in the calls. Like, hey, what's up with the tight ends? Yo, we've been on that. Y'all notice, hey, see a little change. Hey, what's up with the run game? Run game struggling. This game, run game looks decent. See some different plays. See some wrinkles in the offense. And you see some wrinkles in the defense. And, man, look, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't ask the question about Gassett. I was like, I ain't gonna ask that question because I wonder why he didn't play in that first quarter, but I ain't want to be exposing nothing. But I was with y'all like, why didn't Jamar Gassett play the entire first quarter? Like, okay. But defensively, you got DB number 2. What's up, Mary 305? You got DB number 2 though, and his name is TJ Huggins. Like number 21, yes sir. Like I ain't gonna lie, I thought it could be Demore Tate. I was on the Demore Tate bandwagon all the way, but TJ Huggins, and to the point, and I don't know if Cozy did this for cause or effect, but you go back and listen to the call this morning. And Cozy's like, yeah. Cozy got that gravel in his voice. I ain't got that gravel like him. He was like, yeah, TJ Huggins, he might be better in the corner on the other side of the field. And I was like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Y'all seen the Cosby Show like I did. That sounded like the tap dancing episode to me. Shalom. Like, I'm sorry. BJ, what? Look, you better grab Kendall right quick by the shoulder because I feel like he might be getting challenged. Like, wait, Kendall? You challenging Kendall? And look, I ain't gonna hold you though. TJ Huggins looking solid. Coming on at the right time. Like I said, $1 short. A couple weeks late. But that FAMU secondary, you got 2 corners that are solid. And the safeties ain't bad. Like, I'm just saying, don't let FAMU sneak into the SWAC championship. Now, Celebration Bowl, I can't say nothing because that ain't the same South Carolina State team we played. It's not. It's not. They're going to Atlanta unless something catastrophic happens. They're going to Atlanta, and that's not a team that I'm deathly afraid of. But they ain't necessarily somebody I have to play again. I can definitely ride in the next season talking trash like, "Hey, we beat y'all. Yeah, y'all caught us early in the season. Sure did. Don't matter when though. A W is a W. But yeah, FAMU secondary, solid. But FAMU's defense has gotten better. Like for everybody calling for the defensive coordinator, to get fired. I want to go look at some of the stats. I know Cozy said, stats, don't really matter. They're overrated. Take out and subtract the Miami and Detroit game, and our stats are a little better. He's right. But at the same point, even with the Miami and Detroit game, you got one of the best defenses in the SWAC. Offensively, you got one of the most efficient offenses in the SWAC. Now, granted, part of that's coming off of you just laying a 50 burger on Texas Southern. But at the same point, defensively, you got one of the best defenses in the conference. Like, you can't say that ain't worth something. Is there? Like, it's definitely there. So you get ready. We'll talk about that PV game on Thursday. But there's no team in the SWAC you've played more in the past 2 years in PV. They made some changes. Cozy gave us that. But this is a game. Honestly, I'll let y'all in on that one. Before we even get there, I expect us to win. And I don't expect it to be that close. Now, do I hope you don't hit the homecoming lull? Absolutely. But do I, at the same point, expect you to win the game? Heck yeah. Nothing Texas Southern has shown me is amazing. Now, they've done well against the best defenses they played this season from the Southwest Athletic Conference. They've done good on those. And forgive me for looking this way, trying to pull something up. So I know it ain't great camera work, but it is what it is. The cameraman ain't gonna get mad at me. But at the same point, this is a game that you should win. Do I think you should get another 50 burger? Probably not. Do I see a game where you could easily get 30 points? Yeah. And World says, I think LaTroy gave shit as our playbook. Whether he did or didn't, we still won. Right? I mean, I don't think Troy's that kind of guy. I think Troy's a good dude. Yeah, I know he's been on the show. So didn't get to get him on this year, but that's definitely on me. That's not on him. Forgive me. But look. Now the other thing, I know I'm big petty. I'm big petty when it comes to some things. And one of those things is definitely the run your pool game we got going on, man. Look. wasn't a perfect week, and y'all didn't get to see it. But I did make my picks. Went 4-1 this week. So 4-1 is never a problem for me, as long as I'm in first place. Because guess what? I am. So last week's picks were, let's see, there we go. So I had Howard, William and Mary, PV, FAMU, and Alcorn. Alcorn, sorry, was my lone loss, 4-1. I'll take it, largely because, in the words of Nelly, I am number one. So if you look at the top of our leaderboards, Fangs Up podcast still sitting at the top. Trying not to come back to the middle. We'll definitely make our second round of picks on our picks on Thursday. Give those that are so inclined, something to come back for. Try to get them to, make sure they're here supporting the good guys. Also, I'm gonna check here in Orlando. Probably will have a watch party. I don't know if we will for sure though, because look, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna be there. Noops is taking over Orlando for the weekend, so Noops gonna be down here. See Roger Wilson. But football watch party. See that second one right there. Proud Rattlers gonna be down there at Hollandale Beach, Upper Deck Ale and Sports Grill. So just letting y'all know where the watch party's at. In the words of Jagged Edge, if you know where the party's at, let a brother know. Y'all know I don't mind sharing. I would more than likely miss the Orlando watch party, but let me know where the other ones are at, so we can share them out to the people. Look, I'm with you, Mr. Campbell. I hope all Rattlers enjoyed. I definitely did. Went to one of the new tailgates. Also saw my professor, Mr. Jeffrey, Professor Doctor Jeffrey Mills, man. Look, when I tell you, I used to bother that man about that organization. I definitely did. Like, hey, I want to be one of them one day. And look at God, works in mysterious ways. So good time was had though. And as we bounce back from homecoming, look, we're gonna try to, FAMU basketball should be playing TCU. Let me see if we get a little some off the ESPN. I saw it was on Rattlers Plus, so might be a good incentive, good reason for those of us who have not to check it out. May 305 said her girl had some fun. Yes. I'm glad she did. Look, homecoming is homecoming. Like, I don't know how to say it. Especially at FAMU, it's the best place to be to me. Like that's just me. Could be biased, but I don't know any place that has a better homecoming than FAMU, atmosphere wise, any of it. So um, that's just where I'm at with it though. So great there. Oof. And in the first, yeah, we're getting killed. It's 51-15 TCU over FAMU right now. So don't expect an upset today. But at the same point, TCU's got a really good basketball program. Not to be an apologist about it, but to be a realist, TCU's got a solid basketball program. So hopefully we can be able to get ourselves back to where we take basketball seriously. Like, we could lie about this or we could be honest about this. Last year, TCU was, pulling up the record, 21-13. So they're solid. Nobody great, but better than what we were last year. So we'll see it come together. It's going to be some good times. But look, for her, Sue, the Black Techies, man, Adam and the whole crew at HBCU Digital Network, I'm going to let y'all get ready to go because it is almost 9 o'clock. And look, Thursday, we'll be back here. We're going to talk about that PV game, FAMU volleyball, and kind of talk about, a little bit of FAMU basketball and see if we can get some stuff talking about where y'all when we watching these games at, kind of what's going on over there in FAMU neighborhood. Y'all know what's up. It's always gonna be Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey, how